everybody. Welcome to the Mandcave. This is the only podcast hosted by two best friends with nothing in common except their first names. I'm Mandy Fabian.
And I'm Mandy Kaplan. And each week we test the limits of our friendship by arguing over the latest podcasts, movies, streamers, things that Mandy's going to hate that I can't wait to assign her. So grab a couch and let's get to it.
Wait a minute, cut this shit.
I thought you might be fueled by the soccer documentary assignment. I thought that might inspire a little bit of rage or, we would have to start off talking about what I assigned you this week. But I am very excited to talk about it, as you may well imagine.
I'm very excited to assign you the evil thing I have planned.
It's a reality show marathon. If you could how about like a nice, I actually did watch part of a reality show on a plane because I had a lot of plane time.
Yeah.
Because I flew across the country and back. But it's the Flip It, the most adorable couple. I found a reality show that I actually like. What's the thing? A Fixer. Your Fixer something. Love Your Fixer. Fixer Upper.
Oh, okay.
There's probably 9 shows with that name.
Yeah.
But there's this couple.
Yeah, I don't know which one.
Think they're from Texas and they're so cute and they're so stylish and I just want to crawl inside their marriage.
Not Joanna Gaines. They're like huge stars. Those Fixer
I don't know. There's one, his name's Chip. Would that be them?
Yeah, they are massive stars. They have their own network, their own empire. She's got her own line of
Is she this
furniture at
beautiful,
Target.
She looks Filipino or something. Like she's so
Chip and Joanna Gaines. Yeah.
Holy shit. Okay, I didn't even know who they were, but I had heard their names before. But I didn't know because it just said Chip and Joe. I really love them. And their kids. Have you seen their children?
No.
Oh, angels straight from heaven. I will post a picture in the Discord. You cannot believe the way that these two people mixed and made the most beautiful children I've ever seen. I'm going to tell you, I love my kids, but I would trade them on the spot.
Wow.
Oh, these kids are gorgeous.
Well, don't look into the politics of that couple. You won't be happy.
Oh,
okay.
You're kidding me. Wait, was it him
I'm
or her?
They're, as far as I know, they are Christian, somewhat right-wing, somewhat closed-minded people.
Oh,
and
man.
They've had to defend their church and their yeah.
Oh, that's so crazy. Oh, well, okay. So new plan. I'm not exchanging children. I'm abducting the children.
Saving them.
Yes. Let's bring them to Hollywood and raise them right. You're welcome, kids. Mm-hmm. So yeah. Oh, and guess what else I did on the plane?
What?
I finished Killers of a Certain Age.
Oh.
And I loved it.
Oh, I thought it didn't end up as great as I wanted. And I thought there were a lot of jokes and references that felt really hack to me.
Yeah.
A lot of things that made me roll my eyes. I've read that a million times. Really? They're going to have that debate? It just...
Right.
I thought it was a bit lazy.
I read about 1/8 of the amount of stuff that you do. So let's start there. But also, I can see what you're saying. The thing that I didn't like, that I never like, is when older characters are like rolling their eyes at how old they are. Like, I get that people do that, but I'm a little tired of that conversation because they're fucking hit women. They're assassins. Like,
they're badasses.
Yeah. It would have been nice if they had leaned into like how they defy all of the so-called laws of whatever, right? Because we all know there's people that are all ready to turn 60 when they're 40. And then there's people that are 90 and they're like, don't you dare call me old. So I thought that was kind of, I didn't like that. I was like, who wrote this that thinks that, is putting these traditional, boring, not fun and exciting ideas into these women's heads? That is the one thing I was like, bleh.
Yeah. It was fun. It was, fluffy, fun. Yeah.
It was no Thursday Night Murder Club, but.
No, that one's special. That one doesn't do what this one does. It never made me roll my eyes. I loved it.
Well, and also though, it gives you a lot of, I had no idea there were that many ways to kill people. I want to go to one of those murder mystery novel convention things. They have those where you don't even have to be a writer. You can just go. And then they have entire panels on like how to kill someone. They give you, my aunt told me like 6 different ways to kill people, even though she's, retired. Not an assassin, but just has never killed anyone to my knowledge. But she went to one of these things because she's such a huge murder mystery fan person.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I just, as back to Hollywood Secrets, I just completed a horror script and I wrote really weird, gross, gruesome ways to kill people. And I wrote a lot of them. And it was fun.
Congratulations. How did you research that?
I went on a huge killing spree. What do you mean? You write what you know.
Well played.
Thank you. Really briefly, because you and Rory, when he subbed for me, talked about escape rooms a lot. I don't want to go down a rabbit hole. I just want to say we did one.
Oh.
And I love them so much.
Yeah, me too.
And it involved this weird equation. And I see an equation and I'm like, I'm out. What am I going to do? I can't. And I cracked it. I'll give you the name of it, of the place. It's right near you in Tarzana.
Yes.
Maze. They're called Maze Escape Rooms, Maze. Really fun. Just such a good time. Did it with Casey and my sister, and it was so much fun. Love escape rooms. That's all I want to say.
Me too. I'm in. I'm doing it.
Yeah.
Oh, God, yes. Okay, great. Thank you for the tip.
Our family did it in, I think, 48 minutes. So beat that, Fabians.
Ooh. How many hints, though? Did you get a lot of hints?
I don't want to talk about it. They say you can get 3 hints, and then he's like, and if you need more, I'll give you more. Don't worry about it. And we did get the 3 hints, but we didn't ask for more.
Right. Well, I like those. The kinder, gentler escape rooms are my speed. I went to an escape room once that was like, sorry, you didn't solve it. And I'm like, what, motherfucker? This is my birthday party. You don't.
I was there.
Yeah, like you have to let us. You have to let us solve it. This is very unsatisfying.
That was the first one I ever did, and that was also before
really?
They were But that was before they were advanced. Like now, if you get the code right on the thing, a wall opens up behind you, and they're a little more technical. That one that we did had no technology. It was just solve the puzzle to get the lock open to move the door.
Yeah,
but
we
lately
did have to,
I find I love the ones that when you do something right, all of a sudden the room changes colors, and it's cool.
Yeah, that is really fun. We did do one like that. There was a Harry Potter themed one that had a little bit of magic like that. Ours had a secret panel that you had to crawl under the cot to get to a secret room behind it. That was kind of fun.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, I remember. Love it. I love all escape rooms more than I can possibly stand. It makes me think I missed my calling. Like the FBI should have hired me out of college, like I asked them to. But
I you are a regular Clarice Starling.
Oh, thank you.
Let's get to it. Right?
Yeah. Okay, so I assigned you Angel City, the documentary series on HBO. There are 3 of them or 4 of them. Can't remember. I watched all of them. Again, as I stated before, I had a little bit of playing time. But I also was really interested in seeing how it ended and getting to know the characters. And I thought it was very inspiring. Anyway, does it have a trailer? It probably does. Why don't you play Pete, would you mind playing the trailer for our people?
I never imagined that I'd be a co-owner, co-founder of a professional soccer team.
Once you sort of open yourself up to new adventures, they can lead you to a place like this.
Angel City Football Club in Los Angeles is backed by the largest female ownership group in professional sports.
A lot of big names, players, actresses. Can they pull it off?
In order to change systems, you have to start over and you have to rebuild it with something different.
We wanted to give our players the safety and comfort that no matter what, we're betting on each other.
Angel City!
We are so committed to building a future for the next generation.
Every day we must come in and lay a brick. It's really, really tough, but it's brick by brick.
We believe that for women's sports to grow, we have to fill that stadium.
We are in the chance to make history as an expansion team.
Angel City, spread your wings!
We're going to win, we're going to lose, we're going to have difficult moments.
We're going to elevate the sport and show how valuable it truly is.
There's no playbook. We have to write our own.
One of the investors, the initial investors, is a former soccer star named Abby Wambach, who I had never heard of. And
What?
Abby Wambach received what?
Oh my God, that's right. You don't listen to Glennon Doyle. Abby Wambach
that's her
is
wife,
Glennon
right?
Doyle's wife. But there's a whole story about how they met. Glennon Doyle used to be married to a man and had all these kids with him. And she like met her wife and she'd never been with a woman before. And it's this really, it's like a Cinderella story.
Well, I know that from you, but I'm not a Glennon Doyle person, so I don't know who Abby Wambach is. And then Abby Wambach was receiving an award in between Peyton Manning, who I do know, and Kobe Bryant, who I do know.
Yes.
And they were all receiving some lifetime achievement, or I forget what it was.
It was an ESPY award, which is like the highest. Yeah. It's like the Oscar of sports.
Right, correct. But this was for a career achievement.
Yeah.
And she said, and then we all turned to go backstage after being presented with these amazing awards. And it occurred to her in that moment that she was retired at that point and she had played soccer for as many years as she could. She was worried about how she was going to pay her mortgage, and she had to find a 9-to-5 job. Whereas Peyton Manning and Kobe Bryant were going back to their billion-dollar estates, and they would be set for life, as would their great-great-grandchildren. And that, hearing her say that was like, oh my God, that's the key to all of this right there. What the fuck is wrong with this world? That she is a person who, with the talent and the tenacity to make a career of a sport, and she can't pay her mortgage because she's a woman. It just slapped me in the face.
Me too.
In a way, I wished the whole thing started with that story. That would have been a great way to get me to lean in and hook me. That story happened maybe halfway through the first episode or 3/4 of the way through it.
I think it was in the earlier part of it. I think it was, because I thought the same thing. When I saw that, I was like, oh, and there you go. And that is going to make me watch this, and that's going to make me get a freaking season tickets to ACFC. Because we went to a game. I think I talked about it. And it was just so fun. The vibes of it, like you could like their mission behind the team, which I did not know. I did not know they give a percentage, 20%, is it? Like of their profits back to the community and reinvest in the community. And I didn't know that they were doing that whole like respecting the team and not trading them and making all their decisions based on the benefit of the athletes, which no other club does yet. Those kinds of things I thought were really like, it's very dangerous and scary to, take something that's been established for a long time and say, I'm going to do this differently and I'm going to do it ethically. And I'm still going to believe that the financial model will work. And like, that is what's so sexy about this whole thing.
I agree. It's very inspiring that the way they want to run this club. I admire it. I did have this fear. It almost felt like a kid saying, and you can have a cookie, and you can have a cookie, and you can have a cookie, and then they're going to end up with no cookies and they're going to be devastated. How is this team going to do all of these things right and still turn a profit and still keep going? I don't really know the answer. That was my worry. Everything they said is, and we're giving part of our proceeds to this, and we're making a deal to do that better. And it was like, oh my God, maybe just tackle several of the problems, not every single problem in society with this one soccer club.
Yeah. Well, yes, exactly. However, the idea is look at all the people that support football, right? Because they're fans of the sport. They're not trying to solve a larger social issue. They're just fans. And they spend so much crazy money to go to football games and to buy the merch and to get the special channels and all that. So I think what they're gambling on is that these games will be, soccer is a global phenomenon, right? Like it's probably the most popular sport in the world. It kicks football's ass in that way. Because football is more of an American phenomenon and soccer's everywhere. And women's soccer, by the way, abroad is a huge thing. That they touch on that in this series. So they're kind of taking this gamble that it will catch on. And I will say, I've been to 2 or 3 WNBA games in my life. And 2 of them were incredibly disappointing. Like, I don't know how It didn't feel good to be there. And well, what I'll say is also they were playing terribly, which I've seen, and I have seen professional men's basketball do that as well. You know, like they have bad games, or like I saw the Lakers just like they just got their asses handed to them, and they were playing like a high school team. So that made me feel a little better. But but in that same way, like you go to a women's basketball game and you see them playing like not so great high school team, you're like, ugh, right? There's a higher
all
standard.
These athletes are really nervous that you're there.
I think
and they
you're
tank.
Right. Yeah,
they can't. Yeah.
I think it's the notes and flowers I send backstage before the show.
Sure.
You know, I'm just trying to reach out. I just want to connect.
Put your top back on.
Yeah. I don't think
it's very distracting.
Well, you mean now or when I go to the games?
I'm saying both. I'm saying at all times.
You're welcome, listener, by the way. If you're zoning out on all that sports talk and you just wanted to get back to our brand. Yeah. Anyway, it's but these games are like so exciting. I don't even like soccer, as you know. I hate and resent my daughter for wanting to do soccer, and I hate going to her games. I never want to watch them. They bore me. I don't get the rules. I don't like soccer. But these games are exciting, and they really are athletes that whether you like the game or not, you go, oh my God, look at what that human being just did with that ball. How did she do that? Like, it's so exciting. So I think that's what it is they're counting on it to be such a fun event and such a astonishing display of athleticism. The model should work. The fan base is there, but people just assume that women's sports are not going to be as good.
I agree with absolutely everything you're saying. But I don't like soccer, and I'm going to not go to these games. And that's just the reality. But it's fun and there are drums and people chant and it's fun. That doesn't make me want to go see soccer.
Yeah, but if you went and you had a surprisingly good time because you're like, oh, I didn't even like soccer, but that was a really fun game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but what's going to make me go? And I think they're counting a bit on the celebrity. A lot of their owners are celebrities. Natalie Portman is their main, from the ground floor investor and the face of this team. And she goes to the games. And so maybe people are so excited that I'll go to a game and maybe I'll sit near Ava Longoria or
America Ferrera.
Uzo Adobo. Or they have a lot of really exciting celebrity backers.
Yeah.
But,
owners and investors.
Which I think but I just I watched the first one and then I pressed play on the second one just to try to honor my commitment for the podcast. But I realized I did a lot of fast forwarding of the parts with soccer. I don't like soccer.
Yeah.
And this documentary, I would have much rather read this article, which I do say a lot. This is not a 3-part series to me. They're trying to make so much of, are they going to win? No, they lost their preseason opener, and they stretch it all out. There's a lot of injuries. So after the second or third player goes down, you're like, I get it. And I'm heartbroken for these players when they go down. I'm not being cold, but it doesn't make a great documentary to me. And I've seen great sports movies and sports documentaries. This is not that.
Yeah, I thought it was a little
very
stretched out
slow
too.
And self-congratulatory about how they're going to change the world as a documentary.
Oh, wait a second.
As a mission, I love it.
Wait, but what do you mean self-congratulatory? Like if you're changing the world, then you have to celebrate the fact that you're changing the world, right? Like they can't play it down and be like, it's nothing.
Not for 3 hours. I guess had the filmmakers edited more and had less repeat moments of somebody saying, so here's why we are so awesome and different. Right? It is 3 hours of that. It is a very, very long commercial for Angel City.
Right. Because because it was stretched out. Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah. There is a lot of, it's interesting. Well, and at the end of the day, what you're basically building is you go, well, they want to be $1 million athletes just like the men are, and they deserve that,
Yes.
And then you get into the whole like, oh, that's right. At the end of the day, ultimately, you just want to make millions and millions of dollars. And the people who might really be able to come to these games maybe can't afford it. But although I think it's actually pretty reasonable. I didn't go. I should have gone and looked and see what the ticket prices were. But I think they are like, it is great that they give back to the community. Like you're right. They stretched out the documentary.
Everything Angel City is about, I love.
Yeah.
I don't want this to come across as, oh, I don't like women changing the world or fighting for equal rights or being incredible athletes. I love all of it.
Yeah.
I just didn't want to watch this many hours. It was just a long commercial.
Yeah.
In my mind.
Yeah. I thought it was so riveting because I can't imagine myself taking a risk like that. I've always wanted to. And I do sometimes, like writing a character that's not the normal character that you would expect to see, or taking something and not making it just the same old thing you've seen before, but trying to make it different in some way. Like, I love it when people take risks like that. And it terrifies me because I can't,
Right. Well, something that I loved about the very beginning is it's essentially Natalie Portman who says, hey, maybe I could change soccer and I could make this a thing.
Great.
And she reaches out. She's so wonderful. And she reaches out to these women who are venture capitalists at the top of their game, and investors and women who have run global companies. And she reaches out and forms this team. And then we see the team on their Zooms and in their meetings. And the thing I took comfort in is that they looked just like you and me when we write together. They're just people.
Yeah.
So somebody would say something and they're like, well, that's not going to work. And they're just, right? They don't have a magic formula.
Yeah.
And they're batting around ideas and, well, we got to make it really successful. And how are we going to do that? I don't know. And their conversations were so familiar. Yeah. And I thought, oh, yay, I am like a badass CEO of a global company, because these are conversations I've had about any project I've worked on. So,
yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Oh, boy. They're also held really
relatable.
Yeah. They're also held really accountable. I thought that was pretty terrifying, right? Like when they go to hire their coach and they were looking at male coaches, and everybody in the community was like, you have to do better. And they ended up, with a great coach, but who was a woman. But like the fact that would even be something that as you're running your business, you're, which is great. Like it's part of their mission statement. And it is part of the whole thing of people going, you'll never be able to do this. This isn't sustainable. They've tried. This league, the National Women's Soccer League, has failed twice already, right?
Yeah.
Although now it's thriving, and it's growing. That's what's so great. As you get into the documentary a little further, you go like, oh, wow, this is really, I mean, it's still at the base of what they're still assuming a ton of risk. But you look at what they're building and you go, well, that's really smart. And they're at least giving it a chance. Whereas if they had listened to everybody going, that's what.
Yeah. Natalie Portman, somebody says to her, hey, don't worry. Expansion teams never make the playoffs in their first year. And Natalie Portman says, oh, I'm not worried. What's an expansion team? She doesn't even know she has bought an expansion team, like that she is the owner of an expansion team, doesn't even know the term. So this did not come from a lifelong love of soccer for her. This came from the desire to make this world equitable or, fair. And so that's cool. She's like, I don't care about soccer. Now
it is interesting. Obviously. Yeah. And it's interesting, this whole thing, like the way that they're even doing it. You're talking about the Hollywood aspect of it. It's very, it feels very like, because ultimately at the end of the day, they don't make the playoffs. Sorry, spoiler alert. But they don't make the playoffs, and they're even, there's teams that are just going to beat the tar out of them pretty regularly because they're having injuries and all these troubles, right? But it's funny because, the Hollywood aspect of it, the popularity aspect of it, they're crushing. People show up for them. Their fans show up for them. Like they're packing
followers
stadiums
on social media.
Yeah, it is a sexy, fun, good time. I don't know that their team has totally come together yet, even though it's filled with, again, incredible athleticism. But by no means do you always guarantee that if you go to an Angel City game, they're, it's not like they're totally dominating yet. But they have all the other stuff totally down. So it'll be interesting to watch the soccer. And also, I didn't even know this. This team is only a year old. I did not realize that. I thought this was in existence for much longer than that. They're babies.
Well, we saw their kickoff Zoom and it was COVID, right? Like everything was influenced by COVID. When they launched, they had to do it all virtually. And that's admirable as hell to be able to get this going during COVID.
Yeah. Yeah.
Crazy.
I always admire all of the, like, I look at not their sets because it's a documentary, but like their training facility and the way they had to do the stadium and their offices. This is something I, as a person who is a grown-up, should understand, but I become 8 years old whenever I see this. I'm like, how did they come up with those signs? Like, how do they know to get scarves and design them like that? And how do they, like, where they decided to put the Angel City logo places and how I'm like, look at that. They have a whole, there's even a ramp up the side if people need to use a wheel. How do they figure that out? Like,
well, that's law. That's just the law.
Oh, well, okay, not the ramp, but just like you go, oh, it looks so real. They had to build that from nothing. They did not have a training facility and then they had to build one. And I just marvel at that they're like, well,
They're using the training facility at Cal Lutheran, up in Thousand Oaks, where the Rams train.
But then they get their own because it's not.
Oh, they do?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. They get their own space because they need it.
The director of sports medicine for them, who deals with these injuries, she came from men's soccer.
Yeah.
And she's like, when a player gets injured in men's soccer, they spare no expense. They have every piece of equipment, every treatment. It's all right there. When in women's soccer, I have nothing. I admire her for making the leap over because it's too tempting to stay where the resources and the money are all being funneled.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah. It's really crazy. And they all kind of look like, because it's not what they're, it's because it's all a startup. Everybody's kind of, that must be what tech companies look like when you're like, do you think anyone's going to subscribe or whatever?
Right.
Is it going to crash? Are we going to get sued? Should we, they kind of have that energy about them. Yeah. It's definitely enjoyable. And inspiring. And it definitely made me want to buy a season tickets.
I was going to say, if you like soccer, maybe skip the movie and go to the game. Like it's because I want them to succeed. I want this to be a huge success.
Yeah.
The coach, her name is Freya Coombe, and she told a story that when she was a kid and maybe about 10 or 11 years old, they said, oh, well, now girls can't play soccer anymore. Now we only offer boys soccer. So she cut off all her hair and changed her name to Fred so she could play soccer. Yeah. There's a movie in itself.
Oh my God.
I mean, we've seen it, but I that broke my heart. They showed her little picture on her all boys soccer team.
Yeah, but I know, right? But you know how things kind of travel through the zeitgeist, like you absorb things by osmosis. I have so many assumptions in my brain about women in sports that aren't real. Like, I still look at these women and go, really? You grew up and you wanted to be a professional soccer player? That's nowhere even in, where did you even see that, Like, how did you even come to imagine that was a possibility? Now, granted, they probably had parents that took them to, maybe there were professional female games or there were always, there probably always was the Women's World Cup. I don't even know. But I still, even knowing what I know, go, oh God, I never would have even thought of that somebody would, because you don't see it. Whereas if somebody wants to be a football player or a basketball player, if a boy does, I think nothing of it. I go, of course you do. That's
You've
your
seen
Oscar.
it everywhere you've gone for your whole upbringing. Yeah.
That's the thing that really, when you really stop and think about it, you go, that's crazy that is not part of our zeitgeist.
Right. Well, it will be. I mean, Abby Ray's playing soccer. And not that she wants to grow up to become a soccer player, but that she can turn on the TV and see female soccer players and she can go to Angel City. And it's exciting. It's hopefully a turning of the tide.
I'm sure she'll write a musical about soccer. I mean, at the bare minimum.
That's a good idea.
Kick It! Starring Abby Fabian.
And Abby Fabian.
Written by Abby Fabian. I feel good for her getting to watch the documentary too, because there's just so many, they're like not only professional athletes, but they're out. Not all of them are lesbians, but they're out and comfortable in their sexuality and they are smoking hot. I hate to objectify them, but it's incredible They shoot them with makeup and hair and the smoke behind them and all the thing. And it's like, God, they're like supermodels talking about their athleticism.
Mm-hmm.
Good for them.
Yeah, absolutely.
I wonder, and at one point, there was one point when I thought, is this part of the deal though? Like, are they looking for eye candy when they're picking these players?
It reminds me of A League of Their Own, the movie.
Oh,
not
yeah.
The TV show we watched. But when they're like, ladies, can't you make it sexier? You know, and it was this very open thing back then. And then Gina Davis does a split when she catches the ball what if my breasts should fall out? And, you know, but that's almost, have we come so far? Because they are shooting them so beautifully and sexily at times, not when they're playing, but.
Although, and I will say, they don't like put a ton of makeup. They do makeup and hair, but it's very natural. They let them look how they feel comfortable looking. It's not, it is no different than the mood lighting, I'm going to come get you athlete shots that they do with the men in that way.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not a world that I think of or would ever be interested in otherwise. But so are you ready to give it a man job?
Yeah. I mean, unfortunately, I didn't like the documentary, but I liked the subject and I admire what I was watching. So I will give it 3 man jobs. And anyone who loves soccer or loves learning how an empire is born,
for sure,
could watch and learn and enjoy.
Yes, I agree. I'll give it 4. But I will say, I don't think you have to love soccer because I don't. This team makes you love soccer, I think. But no, you don't even go to a concert if you don't know all the lyrics. So you're not super into like, let me go and learn and see if I enjoy this new thing that I don't already know all the time.
You are correct.
Yes.
Guilty as charged.
So for people who are like,
but I hope there are others like me who I would rather watch something about a female football league, not European football, but NFL, because I love football. I love the sport. I love, so.
Yes. Well, I would watch that documentary for sure. Do they have a female football league? They don't.
Not that I know of.
Yeah, they haven't quite gone that far yet. Well, let's tell the people what we're about here. The Mandcave is a production of True Story FM, music by Ian Post, engineering by Pete Wright, a god among men. And hey, guys, if you want to help us out, what would really, really be amazing is if you could go to that little purple button on your phone or wherever you do your Apple Podcast, leave us a review. We love hearing from you. We love the 5 stars you want to give us. You can't rate us anywhere else, so Apple Podcasts would be the place, but we really do love hearing from you. And if you don't have Apple Podcasts, then you can reach out to us on Discord. If you go to mancave.com/Discord, there's a little app, there's a chat room for everybody, and then little super secret Fandys. And we have a lot of fun in there, so come join us.
And thank you to Wendy B. 2 funny gals you definitely want to hang out with in a cave. Funny stuff. Thank you, Wendy B, for the review. We really appreciate it. It helps us find more audience. And if you want to support us in another way, become a Fandy. Go to mandcave.com/Fandy. And it's $5, gets you bonus content and lots of fun stuff and helps us keep going. And you can get merch, which also helps us a lot. And that's at mancave.com/merch. Tons of fun stuff with all the funny things that Mandy and I have stumbled upon over the past 4 seasons. Have we been doing this that long?
Oh my God, that seems crazy. But yes, I think we have. Well, that's nutty.
So,
yeah. I got a little bit of, I was eating a chocolate covered biscotti in bed and I got a little chocolate on my yellow Mandcave shirt. So I'm going to have to go buy another one. Which,
it happens.
I mean, good story, right? You want me to tell it again? So I think of the chocolate biscotti part was the interesting part. But yeah. They're really comfortable. So just know that. They're nice and soft. All right.
Yes.
Well, true to tradition, I have a game for you. It's one of my favorite games.
Soccer. We're going to play soccer.
We're going to play soccer right here. We're going to play footsies. No, this is one of my family's favorite games. It's actually, you can't get it anymore. Oh, we gave it to your son for Christmas. It is called Outburst. And we first played it in Pennsylvania, which made me think of it. And so I'm going to set a little timer for you. Where's my timer? And then I have a list here of like 10 things of a category.
Yes.
I'm going to give you.
Yeah, I love it.
I feel like I want to give you 30 seconds, but maybe I'll give you 60. Just, why not? I'll give you 60 seconds.
Thanks.
And you are going to guess as many of these things as you can. And you just have free form.
warm up.
No clues, nothing. There's a category.
Limber.
Yeah. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Here we go. Things you might find at a soccer game. And like a big, I'm talking like a big soccer game, not the little like Little League, AYSO, not those kiddo soccer, professional soccer game. And go.
Ted Lasso.
It's a great guess.
A field, a goal, a goalie, a forward, a defender, jerseys. Am I getting any of them?
Yeah. Yeah, you are getting some.
Beer, stands, banners, signs, brawls, in my case, because every time I go to a sporting event, a fight breaks out in the stands. Gatorade, coaches, players, parking lots. I don't know.
Okay.
Our Zoom says you raised a hand. Did you mean to? It's so cute. You just raised a hand.
Okay, you want to hear something really weird? Okay, stop. That's creepy because I didn't touch my computer. I wasn't even looking at it. How did it know that I went like...
physically raise your hand. I think that's got to be a Zoom setting. Let me see if I can get it to do it.
It's a new thing. Whoa. Wait, now I want to lower my hand. Why doesn't it lower my... That's so crazy. Okay,
yeah, because your hand was up in the air and then now there's a cartoon hand. Hold on. Keep making that face. I'm going to take a picture and post it on the Discord. This is funny. The hand went away.
Look, watch. It's going to do it again. No, it's going to do it again.
Is?
It's reading my hand. Yes, look.
Okay. Yeah.
Maybe I could do this. Look, we're taking a picture.
Okay.
Oh, that was fun. Wow.
Right.
You did pretty well.
Hey, thanks.
You did pretty well. Fans, I'll give you. Yep. Yes. I don't think you said balls. Did you say soccer balls?
I don't think I did.
I don't think you did.
And I like to say balls.
That's the fun thing. I know you do. That's the fun thing about this game is is like you go, oh, that's a very specific way of saying it. So you didn't say balls, I don't think. You said coaches. I don't know if you said referees. Did you say referees?
I did not say referees.
Okay, so didn't say referees. You did say goals. You said field, but technically it's called a pitch. And I think since you watched Ted Lasso, you really should have known that. But I'll give you pitch. Didn't say hot dogs. You did say you named a lot of players, which was great. You didn't say scoreboard. Team merch was another thing. And
I said merch. No, I said jerseys.
That's fine.
I said jerseys.
We'll do. That's fine. That's good for merch. And then fireworks. That was another thing.
No, didn't say that.
I'm going to lower my hand. But that's the weird thing about outbursts is you just say like 50 things and you go, how did I not get 4 of them?
Right. I'm trying to make a hand raise now because I think it's very exciting.
Or you're hiling Mandy. I don't know what is it?
Oh, dark turn.
Well, All right. Ready?
Oh, I'm doing another one?
Oh, yeah. Do you not want to do another one? Yes.
Of course I want to do another one. I'm so excited.
Yes. So here is a category of jobs where women don't get equal pay. Okay. Are you ready? Other jobs.
All of them.
Where women don't get equal pay. All of them is in the category. I'll give you 30 seconds. Are you ready? Go.
Wait, this is for real?
Yeah.
Doctors, lawyers, athletes, actors, writers, painters, field workers, everybody. I mean, it's everything. Healthcare, drivers.
Oh, now that's interesting. Okay. All right, your 30 seconds is up. Listen, I did not know this. Bus drivers and truck drivers is a very real thing. Like when you look up the thing of, did you know that?
I think I did. And I can't remember where I heard it about truck drivers.
bus drivers, and truck drivers. It's a pretty basic thing, right? You go, well, how on earth do you not pay a woman as much to turn a wheel and turn a car on and off? That seems insane to me.
Sandra Bullock did a great job in Speed.
I couldn't agree more. Yes.
Yeah.
She set the standard for all of us. Yeah. You cannot believe the list. You're correct. Real estate brokers, a big one. Personal financial advisors, basketball players, bus drivers, retail sales, fashion designers.
What?
Teachers, janitors, EMTs, and jobs that are unpaid. Apparently, we still get paid less for that. So, but now I have one more. I think this will be easy for you because you've known me for a long time. All right, you ready? So this is sports. Yes. This is sports that I have played and I'm exceptionally good at. But that last part is just a given. You don't have to think about that when you're... Okay, are you ready? Sure. Sports I have played. Okay.
There are 10?
There are 10.
There can't be 10.
There's 10.
Oh my God.
Yes. All right, you ready?
All right. Yep.
Go.
Volleyball.
Yes.
Softball.
Yep.
I'm done. Well, I have played tennis with you.
Yep. There you go.
So it better be on the list.
It's not, but that's okay.
I'm going to say miniature golf.
Tennis. Yep. Okay.
Skating. I know you've gone skating because you got concussed last time. Swimming. I know you love to swim. Paddle boarding. I've seen you do that. These are sports.
They are.
These are sports. Basketball.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Did you play basketball as a kid?
I sure did. Yep.
Horseback riding, obviously.
Very good. Yes.
Yep. Other sports you've played? Chess, table tennis. I don't know.
Okay. Well, we can stop. That's fine. You can. You had about 9 seconds left, but it's funny. You named a whole bunch. This was very funny. You named a whole bunch that I didn't even write down. You're correct about a lot of them, but they weren't on my list. Yeah. But volleyball, you're correct. Running, I think you said running, right? Or maybe you didn't say running.
No.
Okay.
No.
Horseback riding, yes. Gymnastics. I was a gymnast. I was a cheerleader. Right. I played soccer. And then drinking games. You forgot the drinking games.
I did.
Yeah. I think I was...
Well, no, you were always hammered on your horse. So I think that counts.
Who isn't? Another good name for a musical, Hammered on a Horse.
Yes.
Well, there you go. There's my fun game. All right. You are welcome to torture me now.
I'm going to hold off on the torture and recommend a song. Have you heard Cinderella Snapped, and have I told you about it on the podcast?
Yes.
I probably have.
Yes.
Okay. Have you listened to it?
No.
Okay.
But I will.
So one of the lyrics is, "Don't call me baby, equal pay me." And I just love her, and I love everything she has to say. Okay. Jax, J-A-X, do it. In our long history of friendship and podcasting, only a couple of times have I forced you to watch trashy reality TV.
Yes,
couple
that's
times.
right.
I've done that too.
Yep. You have. Yep.
Those things I forced you to watch were classy, like Oscar-winning, Pulitzer Prize-winning art. They were high art compared to what I'm about to assign you.
Okay.
There is something going on in the world, and it is so zeitgeisty that on my football podcast just now, one of my football analysts said, "And if you're watching this show, hit me up. I want to talk about it with everybody."
What?
And it is coined a new phrase has been coined for this.
Is it TikTok?
No. The phrase is Scandival. Is that ringing any bells?
No.
Because on a very bad TV show called Vanderpump Rules, a character named Tom Sandoval has cheated on his live-in love and blown up the world, and they've called it the Scandival, and CNN has covered it, and it's been this huge story in the zeitgeist.
Vanderpump Rules.
Vanderpump Rules. They are airing it on Bravo this Wednesday night, the first reunion, because we know I love a reunion. I don't really care about the other stuff. I want all the yelling and the crying and the walking off and the slapping. I want it all. Vanderpump Rules, Bravo TV, 9 o'clock. But then you can get it on demand after that, or record it, or I don't know how you watch, or it's on Peacock. I don't know if you have So,
okay,
that is what we're going to watch.
Okay. All right. Vanderpump.
Yeah.
Let's get after it.
And obviously, we're going to call it Mandurpump. Okay.
Oh, well done. And is
Too
it
easy.
a 3.5 hour special or only
I believe
4?
it's just an hour first part, and that's all I'll ask of you. I want to get into this scandal. Yeah.
All right, we'll get into the scandal.
All right.
All right. See you next week.